welcome to this week's brand new episode of the Being Podcast, a safe space that I have created for us to come to encourage, motivate, inspire one another, and maybe tweak how we believe, engage, innovate, navigate, and gain in every area of your life. My name is Jada. I am your host, and welcome to old and new, those returning, those that may have just stumbled upon us. We are here and we're glad that you're here. So, how is the week going? How is your summer going? I just wanted to, really think about how we are dealing with things. I've been very much about getting after who you are at your core, getting back to finding those dreams that maybe you've put to the side because of other obligations and responsibilities. I've talked about making time for yourself, and all of those things are important. But today I wanted to just touch on resiliency. And why is that? Well, because in anything, we can have the perfect plan. It can make complete sense to us. We may have found our voice, as I talk about, and we may share this with everybody else. We have our team, our community, our tribe, all of the things that we've talked about all season, and life still happens. Things are going to come our way that we were just not prepared for. Because one, we don't want to, put out in the universe those things that we don't want, right? Although we try to plan for any and everything, for the most part, we want to stay positive. We want to stay focused on the things that we can control, which is very important. We want to focus on those things that pour into us, that make us excited, that give us life so that we can show it for everybody else. That's definitely important. But what about when it just does not go the way that you thought it was going to go? And that's what I wanted to get into, because yes, I am all about all of those things I just talked about. I am all about not asking other people or waiting for other people to give us permission. I am all about having a roadmap so that we have the direction, so we know how to proceed, taking the small steps that lead to those big changes. But I am a realist. I understand full well what it's like when all of a sudden you're going, things are going great, and then boom, you hit a roadblock. You hit something that you were like, I didn't call this into my being. I didn't ask for this. This was not part of my plan. And yet it comes to us. Things happen, whether it's for me, it was the loss of my parents, or it could be a loss of a job or not getting a job, or it could be I'm doing all the things to work out and to eat better, and yet I'm looking at the number on the scale and it's still not moving the way I think it should be moving. And I've been doing this for so much time. Maybe it's something silly. This is something silly for me. I'm drinking all the water because one, I need it. Two, it's hot. And people told me that after a while, my body will get used to it. But your girl is still going to the bathroom every 15, 20 minutes, right? So things are going to happen whether we are prepared for them or we're not. But then it is up to us and how we react to those things. And that's what this episode is about. Being resilient, being able to handle any and everything that comes our way, even in the midst of, putting our lives together the way we want them to go. Making sure that while we are doing that, while we are like, okay, like for me, I am trying to make sure to get up in the mornings and get my workouts done. Why? One, it's that time for me to kind of quiet my mind, get myself centered, get my sweat on, move the blood, and get moving, right? Because once you get up, like that is the hardest part for me. And if you agree with this, let me know. Drop a heck yeah in the comments, because once I get up, I'm good. I'm ready to go, right? So I'm trying to get into this 5:30, get up, work out, have that time for myself, then coming in, getting myself ready, letting my baby sleep a little bit longer, and then I'm off to the races, right? I have started to meal plan and meal prep. And so I did that last week, and it was very, it was very helpful for me to be able to get up and to just grab my food and get on about my day. and to know I had something that was, nutritious that I knew I was putting into my body. So that was good. But there are other things that I want to do. I would love to journal more. I would love to meditate more. But then life happens, right? Things happen. The baby wakes up, so now I got to take her to the gym. So although I'm still getting the workout in, maybe I'm not fully focused because I'm having to make sure she's good. Or maybe I forget my lunch because I'm running out, because I'm running late for some reason. So things happen, but then I get to decide, okay, how am I going to react to that? Am I going to allow myself to be derailed? Am I going to say, oh, well, throw away the whole day because, the kid woke up and now I'm not going to be able to work out? Am I going to say, you know what? I had one thing that maybe I shouldn't have eaten. It sounded and looked great and I had that. So now I'm going to throw away the rest of the day. No, that isn't what I'm going to do. And I'm going to encourage you that you too don't allow life, circumstances, or anybody to derail you from your goals. So, yes, while we have started to really look into what we're trying to get after, what we're, pouring into other people, how we're showing up, how we're doing all the things to make sure that we are well rounded, that we are, filled to capacity to continue to go. I also want us to think about, hey, when they don't go the way we plan for them to go, what do we do? Now, I will also tell you that, yeah, you're not going to completely let yourself get thrown off track, right? But I also will encourage you to really pay attention to what you need. Meaning, yeah, I may have this plan of I'm going to work out, Monday through Friday. I'm going to take the weekends off. That's my plan. But let's say that I had a really hard workout and my body is just not ready to go the next day. Maybe that just means that I need to rest. Does that mean I beat myself up? Does that mean I allow myself to go down the rabbit hole of having a bad day? Does that mean then my eating gets thrown off because I've already missed this one thing? No, it means I'm in tune enough with my body, with my mind, with my, my inner being to know that it is okay to adjust. It is okay to not do something. Not doing that does not mean that I failed myself. And I want you to understand that. Just because the plan doesn't shake out daily how you thought it was, does not mean that you are a failure in that. So, and I'm using that word because if you're like me, we're tough on ourselves. We're hard. We don't always give ourselves the grace that we may extend to other people. And so I'm telling you, this is the time that you need to do that. This is the time for you to, yep, listen to yourself, listen to your intuition, look at it for what it is, give yourself the grace and say, okay, this is what happened. And so I'm going to readjust and then I'm going to make sure I'm back on the path that I really want to be on. And while you are able to adjust to that, you are being resilient. You are able to, improvise, adapt, and overcome the obstacle that comes your way and not let that obstacle overcome you. And that is what is crucial. Those are the things that we can build upon, right? So we're starting these habits, and I'm into habits because I'm finishing up Atomic Habits. And as I'm learning how to stack those and to really be in tune with what fuels me, also understanding that if something doesn't go the way I want it to go, then I just have to ensure to get back on track. I know it sounds super simple. A lot of things in life that are, that sound simple, they really are. We just tend to overcomplicate them, right? We tend to give it the energy and, all the negativity, and probably because we don't want someone else to do that, right? So if you are like me and you have friends or family that help keep you accountable, we may not want to tell them that, oh man, I really messed up. I slept through both of those alarms. I did not get up and work out, or, my head was really hurting. So I'm just going to give myself that day off. We may not want to admit it, acknowledge it, right? Because we think that someone's going to, judge us for it. And it's not about that. That's really the time that you're, your people should be like, you know what, girl, it's okay. Maybe you needed that for this reason. Maybe it happened for, maybe something else comes out of that day. So I'm saying all this to say, don't feel that you have to one be in like a world alone. Don't feel that because things don't go the way you want them to go that you need to turn inward and try to protect yourself, because those are the times that you need the community that I'm so big on making sure you're building. So, one, grace yourself. Two, ensure that the people that are around you are going to love you through the good and the bad. We don't want to have conditional love from our partners or from our friends or any of that. So, you surround yourself with those people that help you to get back on track. So, ask yourself, this is my challenge for you today in this week. What do you do when something doesn't go the way you want it to go? Are you super tough on yourself? Do you just go down the rabbit hole? Or are you able to look at it, acknowledge it, receive it for what it is, and say, okay, didn't go quite the way I wanted it to, but now I have the choice. I have the power to decide how I'm going to tweak that so I can navigate around and go a different way so that I'm still gaining in my life and in my purpose and in my goals. Because one thing should not have to like negate everything else, right? So, what do you do? Take a look at that. The next time, for me lately, it's been with my babies, meaning I'm listening to this audiobook, and it's called The Cranky Mom. And I can't remember who wrote it, but I'll put it in the notes if you want to check it out. But it's on Audible, and it's really talking about how are we engaging with our kids. And it's so crazy, y'all. I'm going to be transparent with you. Like, I not so much like the gentle parenting. Like, I know there's women out there that are doing that, and I try to take what I can, right, and try to implement it when I can. But in this book particularly, I felt like she was talking directly to me, because we have the greatest intentions. Like, I'm not going to yell today. I'm not going to be mean. I'm not going to do whatever those things are that we think we're, damaging our babies. And then something will just trigger us. And boom, before you know it, you've just completely blown that out of the water. And I used to be so guilt ridden when I would do that. And now I recognize it. I'm getting better at this. I can recognize it. I sit down, get on their level, and I apologize. And I vow to them and I vow to myself that I will do it different. So that is me redirecting. That is me. Yep, I'm human. I'm going to have my moments. I had the greatest intention of it being this way. I tried to be nice and say it a certain way. And then boom, I'm triggered. And then not only am I apologizing so I can do it different and for my babies to understand that, yes, mommy is human, but also for me to do some deeper work. Like, Jada, why did that set you off? Why are you so upset? Like, what is the real root cause of, the outward expression of being upset? So I am just saying that we have the power to choose and to redirect and to do it different, and to, even in that moment, change the narrative. And that's what I'm encouraging you to do. So not just with other people, your spouse may irritate you. It happens, right? We probably irritate them, with your babies, maybe even with your friends. But that's not the be all end all. We're all working to become better. We are all working at being our best selves, right? And so that's all this is. This is not an episode to shame anybody or pull out the paddle or anything like that. It's really just to say, hey, as things are going, and especially if you are working on a goal, which I really hope that you are. And no, things don't happen overnight. Like, I'm doing these podcasts, I'm showing up, I'm trying to do all the things. And I have these moments where I'm like, no one's listening to me or whatever, but I continue to go. I continue to show up, because whether one person listens or 100 people listen, I'm doing what I know I was called to do. And while I may be upset and want to be like, you know what, I'm done with this, I know that's not what I'm supposed to do. So I just find a different way. I still show up, and I try it a different way, and I try again, and I try again, and I try again. And that's really all we can do. But we get to choose how we're going to act and react, how we're going to show up, how we're going to be resilient. And I know that you have it in you. So whether you're starting that goal, yay for you, and maybe it's not going as quickly as you wanted it to, or maybe you haven't quite figured out how to make it work, it doesn't mean that it's not worth doing. So please, please, please keep pushing, keep showing up, keep doing the things, keep taking those small steps, and know that if you fall down, you don't, what do they say? You win or you learn. We're not failing in this. We are getting up and we're getting stronger and we're getting stronger. And like, I get up and I work out, and is it tough? Absolutely. Am I trying to add more weight where I can? Yes. Am I like, oh, do I need to do the modified? Maybe if my knee is hurting, but do I try to push myself? Absolutely. Because we have to just keep trying and keep pushing and show up, and not only for everybody else, but for us. Because as I said, we matter. And how we show up, especially if we have little ones looking at us, or if you have teenagers, probably even more so. I'm not there yet. I got the 6-year-old and almost 3-year-olds, but even more, because they're looking and they're seeing and they're like, okay, how did mama react to that? How did she overcome that? What did she do? So they're looking, they're watching, and not even just our little people, but probably our spouses, probably our coworkers. So do it for you, and know that other people may be watching to see how to navigate different in their lives. So that's all I really wanted to share with y'all this week. I know, as I keep saying, we're into the summer, we're into that new routine a little bit, and it's not all going to go perfect. It's not going to always go the way we want it to go, but if we are showing up for ourselves, if we have that roadmap, we have that plan, we have those ideas, and we're showing up and we're doing the work, and we know that we're human and we're gracing ourselves, that's all we can do. But keep pushing, keep getting up. Okay. So, I hope that this encourages you. I hope that you find something that, makes you think, do I need to tweak that a little bit? How can I do that a little bit better? How can I show up a little bit more positive for myself, for my kids, for my spouse, for my whoever it is that's, counting on you, but most importantly for yourself, because you deserve it and you'll be better for everybody. So keep pushing, keep getting up, keep moving forward, keep being resilient, and know that you are going to get where you want to be as long as you keep moving. And that means that we have to, sometimes be that Teflon and like let things slide off of us. Don't hold on to resentment. Don't hold on to anger. Have your moment, like I say, and then figure out the plan and then get after it and change that trajectory and just continue to be who you're called to be. Okay. So I know I'm a little soft-spoken today. I am excited because I too am continuing to learn. Yep. Especially after last week, like get out there, do all the things. And then we get out there because we're super pumped up, and life may not throw us the rewards and throw us the accolades right away. But that doesn't mean that we're not on the track and on the path that we should be on. So keep pushing, and I will see you all if you're watching. Hey, but if you're listening, I definitely appreciate you for letting me get in your ear for just a little bit. But I will get out of here, and I will be back next week with all the care.